Well, you win some, you lose some. Sometimes you lose a lot. This is one of them. The Grand Prick. It is a prick. Very grand at doing it. So, the car's going up for sale. About 500 bucks. She's pretty clean, actually. It's a very, very clean car. Interior's clean. I mean, other than a little bit of fading, she's actually not bad. How many miles are on her? 81,000 miles on it. And everything works. The AC works. Well, you fix the coolant leak and the heater would work. I got new brakes on the back, new rotors, new calipers. I mean, brand new. I mean, it's got, well, it's only got a couple miles on it. Say maybe 15 miles on them. Like, they're brand new. Seats are in good shape. Nothing's ripped. The only problem is a sagging headliner. Even the back seats are good. I mean, when it comes to rust, there is like no rust on this entire car. Except for the exhaust. I mean, even down in here, she's pretty solid. And in Wisconsin, that's a common spot for them to rot out. Particularly on the driver's side, because that's where all the salt's going to be. And this one's just got a little surface right there. I mean, even underneath the car, she's on the edges of the doors. It's starting, but even underneath the car, she is clean. A lot of surface rust though on the subframe for the front. Nothing rotted out or nothing. But other than, I mean, that's it for rust on the car. And one other spot. Underneath here, this is for your heater core. Right here. And she leaks pretty good. So, it needs a new one of those. Or, when I was talking to the shop, the one guy says, you normally can't find that part, so he just runs a hose. He's like, usually works. The car's got brand new head gaskets on it, brand new. It was done the same time the brakes were done. So the story behind the car is, my nephew got it when his Saturn broke, and well, he hated this car, absolutely hated it. And he didn't care about it. He didn't own it for very long. I want to say a couple months. And the car, part of him getting it, sat for like 8 years, 6 years, something like that. Maybe even longer. So it's not been on the road for a long time. And then he got it, and one of the tires were bad. So we got these rims and tires and put them on here. And a couple months later, it started leaking coolant. Well, it started leaking coolant out of the water pump. I told him, change it, or else you're going to blow it up. Well, that was shortly before Christmas, and I think it made it till about February. And he overheated it, blew a head gasket. So then it sat all summer until I purchased it a couple months ago. Picked it up for 400 bucks. Because I'm like, well, it just needs a head gasket. Paid a guy 500 bucks to do it. I bought the parts. And plus, Say $150 in rear brakes, $200 in rear brakes, something like that. Gasket parts, I'll say another $200-300. So I got about $1,000. Well, I got over 1,000, close to $1,500 sitting in this car. I mean, you can even see the head bolts. In fact, I had to change the front head because the gasket that blew, because I stopped at the guy's shop quite often. It was the front head that blew, and well, I'll show you that one. Just edit this part out. Here's the cylinder head. You can see she had an issue with this one right here. This is the head that blew the head gasket, though I thought it was one of the outside heads. Probably this one, because this one seems a little clean than the other two. So I'm assuming it's this side of the head. But so I went to a junkyard, got a different head, got it all done, had a miss, took it over, down the shop, down the hill, and well, I changed coil packs, so it's got 3 brand new coil packs on it. And he did a compression test on cylinder 5, and there's no compression, or low compression. He said no, but I'm probably assuming low. But even my Thunderbird, or the Thunder Cooter, runs with 20 psi, so. But this runs better than that. This will idle. The muffler's blowing out though. I pulled the cover off to see if there's a lot of blow-by. There isn't, so there's no pressure going into the crankcase. So that tells me it's probably valve train. Yeah, she's going up for sale. Maybe someone else's problem. So there, some valve train work, and she'd probably be on the road again. I'm not gonna run her too long because she does got a coolant leak, which is why it says low coolant. Check engine light because of the misfire. And the fuel light, the fuel gauge works, but the low fuel light always stays on. So I normally get a, check gauges. That's not a check engine light. Check gauges, yeah, because it says that because it thinks it's out of gas because that light's on, and I don't know why. Yeah, so she moves and stuff. Well, to help kind of find what the problem is, I decided to pull the valve cover off on this side. This cylinder literally has zero PSI. My gauge, I tried 2 different gauges, none of them work. So I'm like, all right, I'll loosen up both rocker arms. I mean, they're loose. They're not doing nothing. And I pulled the Schrader valve out of my tool here, and I can blow air through the cylinder. She's junk.